of the preamble, which are, among other things, to provide for common defense and secure the blessings of liberty. And here we come finally to the geostrategic argument for the Constitution, the national security argument. Here's how it went. And you see this in the early Federalist Papers. It's summarized in the Federalist number 8. But you see it as early as the Federalist number 2 and 5 and 6. And if you want to read these Federalist Papers, which are short little newspaper op-eds, I commend them to you. Here's what the Federalist Papers say. Here's what the Federalists, the supporters of the Constitution, say. Look around the world. Who's free in all the world other than we in America? Basically the British and the Swiss. Why? Because Britain is an island. And once Scotland and England formed an indivisible union, that island became very easy to defend against enemies. You only needed a small navy, and navies don't threaten domestic liberty. Why is Switzerland free? Because it's got a natural, it's got defensible borders. It's got the Alps all around. It's hard to charge up a hill. Britain has a moat called the English Channel. The rest of the world is unfree because you got one entity. It's got sort of hostile neighbors all around land borders, and so it builds up an army to defend itself, and the neighbors build up a bigger army, so it builds up a still bigger army. You have arms races develop, and then strong men, military figures emerge, and they use those armies to squash people domestically. That's the world. Britain avoids it by creating a union of Scotland and England, because before they were united, Hadrian's Wall is no Great Wall of China. It's no Alps. It's no impenetrable border. And so the Scots are fighting the Brits, the English, and the English are fighting the Scots. You have Mel Gibson coming down. And no one's free because you're an armed camp, because you're constantly in a state of war, and you have an army domestically suppressing people. But England and Scotland create a perfect union in 1707. They're an island nation. We want to do the same thing in America, create sort of an island nation. And here's what will happen if we do that. If we're 13 separate nations, we're going to start fighting with each other over who controls the West, because there's gold in them, our hills. Britain will come in, we'll play one state off against each other, and we'll be just like the rest of the world. We'll start fighting and killing each other and with big armies, and there won't be liberty. But if we can create an indivisible union on the model of the Union of Scotland and England, a strict and indissoluble union, here's what we'll be able to do. We'll be able to have a very small, we'll have the entire Atlantic Ocean as our moat, our English Channel times 50. That navy won't threaten Americans. We won't need a big army. A very small army, an army that won't threaten liberty, will suffice 5,000 people to kick the British out, to kick the Spanish